Hello, this is Hellable speaking. Sorry that I'm currently talking to you in the Judgment Hall from Undertale. Just thought I'd do the thing that Flowey does after every reset and just have a quick conversation with you. The video you're about to watch right now was supposed to come out a long time ago, but got pushed back after some things happened, which is why you got me, someone you don't even know, telling you this. While I'm here, I might as well tell you that challenge videos aren't going to be on Hannibal's channel anymore. They're going to be on a brand new channel specifically tied to me. Don't worry, Hannibal is still going to be her normal commentary self. I'm just going to be doing my own thing in my own space. The channel should hopefully be up by now with no videos, but I plan on fixing that when I figure out what to make a video on. Anyways, cry if your card crash transition, I choose you. Let me set the stage. You're a 13-year-old Hannibal Nectar, not quite a female yet, but a closeted femboy dreaming of becoming one. Aspiring to reach your full potential as a future internet twink, you create a to-do list to set yourself on the right path. The list is simple. Practice voice training, buy some thigh highs, and do a ton of squats for that mostly favorable build that everybody likes. You know the one. But the final item on your list, that's where the actual problem starts. Main Pyro in TF2. The problem? You don't even have a decent computer to run TF2 properly. How can you fulfill your dream if you're already starting with such a disadvantage? Fast forward 2 years later, you're officially a woman now, and that dream of becoming a Pyro main is stronger than ever. Enter the Valve Steam Deck, a handheld gaming device that might just make that dream possible, even though there is no mouse, no keyboard, and just gyro controls, where the entire console is the mouse. Of course, that's gonna cause some complications, but struggling is all a part of the process. So now, of course, the question is, can I, a free-to-playing Steam Deck user, actually get good at Pyro and TF2? Roll intro. But before we dive into that, here's a bit of background. Hi, I'm Hannibal Nectar, a Doom and Ultrakill fanatic with no relation whatsoever to Retzko from Ad Retzko. Fun fact, I'm not exactly good at FPS games. Okay, maybe that's a little harsh on my end. I've been playing shooters like Halo and COD since I was 4 years old. I still remember running through Mob of the Dead at that age, to be honest, and actually understanding what I was doing. So yeah, I've got some skills. The issue? Those aren't what most people classify as big boy games.
Yeah, honey, I only play video games for big boys.
Halo and COD are slow and quote-unquote easy games with aim assist and tactical movement that just slow things down even more, at least according to the pro gamers. Well, when it comes to stuff like Half-Life Deathmatch or Quake, I'm not amazing. Honestly, I'm subpar at best. Why am I telling you all this? Because I didn't just start playing TF2. I've been at it for a while now, using gyro aim on the Steam Deck. The dumb part is, when I was just finally getting the hang of it, I dropped TF2 to play some funky horror game made on the Doom engine that's all in my head. Well, now I'm back with a sort of goal. I want to become at least a half-decent Pyro main by the end of this video, even if it means burning myself alive in the process. So, grab some popcorn, crack open a can of gasoline like a true diesel-loving American, and let's both watch the world burn. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The first few games of this challenge already had me doubting myself. Obviously, I wasn't gonna become a god at Pyro overnight, but does anyone really want to watch me struggle for 10 minutes straight? Actually, never mind. Over 1,000 people watched both parts of my Ultrakill Revolver only run, so clearly you all have some sort of pain kink that I don't know about. Anyway, I took those early matches as a learning experience to figure out what I actually liked about Pyro, given the limited weapons and utilities I had available. Take the Dragon's Fury, for example. I struggle with its range, even though the whole selling point of the thing is its range. On the other hand, when using the stock flamethrower, I find myself wishing for the extra reach that the Dragon's Fury could provide me. It felt like a double-edged sword no matter which one I used. I get that's the whole point of Pyro's weapon variety, but that didn't make it any less frustrating for me. Sure, I had the flare gun, which theoretically could solve my range issues, but at the time, I wasn't confident in my aim limit, so I barely touched it during the early phases of this challenge. Then, during a random match on Harvest, I stumbled upon a loadout I'd end up gravitating towards the most: the stock flamethrower and the thruster pack. The thruster pack quickly became the workhorse of this setup. In that match, I realized I could adopt a playstyle similar to Spy, except slower and significantly beefier. Here's how it worked. I'd use the thruster pack to boost onto a roof, scope out the area, and then drop down to pick off any enemy player I see fit. But I didn't just go for anyone. I had preferences. My targets of choice were primarily scouts, spies, medics, and demo men. Scouts were easy to burn since they're a light class. Spies were pretty obvious. Pyro's literally their worst nightmare. Medics, they're crucial for team pushes, so suicide burning one could give my team a short-term edge, at least sort of. Demo men? Okay, I'll be honest, I just hate demo men. Specifically demo knights. The number of times I'd lose awkward close-range fights with them is insane to me. I've developed a literal burning passion for taking them out. Wait a second, I just realized I accidentally made a pun. Good on me. Anyway, where were we? Oh right, the gameplay. So far, I was getting more kills than I expected, but I wasn't exactly pulling off any god-tier plays or anything. If anything, I was relying on flamethrower suicides a bit too much. Just running in on pure instinct and hoping for the best, basically. Of course, I wanted to do more than just mindlessly W plus M1 my way through matches while spinning around like a schizophrenic aim locker in CSGO, while also considering the fact that it's frowned upon to do that sort of tactic. And I didn't want to really rely on it too heavily. That's why, on day 2, I decided to do something that would definitely stop me from being this way. So of course, the first thing I did was go into my Discord server and ask if anyone had a Phlogistinator they'd be willing to trade.
What the hell is this?
Which Jaden, one of my gun lawyers, was actually willing to do. Shout out to her, she's cool and stuff. Now you might be wondering, didn't I just say I wanted to step out of my comfort zone? Why would I go for the Flog, a weapon that's known entirely for being W plus M1 incarnate? Well, hear me out. Yes, I want to push myself, but I also wanted to get the playstyle I naturally gravitated towards down first. The Flog felt like a good way to do that while building a solid foundation. Besides that though, the main reason I wanted the Flog was simple. I didn't really like air blasting. It just didn't feel natural to me unless I was right in a soldier's face, baiting them into shooting a panic rocket at me. Even then, I wasn't consistent enough to make it a reliable part of my playstyle. With the Phlogistinator, I didn't have to worry about that, because I can't even air blast with it. I could focus entirely on positioning and damage output, which suited me just fine for where I was in my learning curve. Once I felt comfortable, I figured I could circle back to air blasting and start refining that part of my gameplay. In the meantime, the Flog has become a crutch for me. A useful crutch, sure, but a crutch nonetheless. It allowed me to experiment with different strategies while still leaning into my strengths. And honestly, this is all just an excuse to say I like hearing the crit sound effect ding in my ear like a fire alarm. And besides, getting clips like these solidified my love for using the weapon with the thruster pack.
He's over near the, obviously, you can see him stand there. Yeah, he's over there.
Cool, right? Yeah, I bet it was. I don't know what clip my editor used, so I'm just guessing what she showed was cool. It better be cool, Grebs, or I'll commit arson IRL. Don't test me. Taking me not being precognitive into account, I'm actually writing the script as the days go on, so current me has no idea how this challenge is gonna end, or how I'd even calculate the time. Going into this challenge, I never really asked myself, what's good enough to be like, I'm good at this game now? So I guess it's better late than never that I decide now on Tuesday of this challenge, that this challenge will go on for the entire week. Technically 6 days though, considering I started this challenge on a Sunday, because I had no idea what was going to happen, and I can already see the shadow of El Maxo shaming me from the heavens. But look on the bright side. I have an actual set in stone goal now, in around like, what, 4 or 5 minutes in the video? Ha! Oh god, this is so scuffed. Between dying every 50 seconds and Steam randomly deciding to not record my footage, I was close to putting myself in that eye poker thing from Dead Space at this point. On the bright side though, without being mopey, you can clearly see that I vastly improved in just under 3 days. During a match on Moss Rock, I felt like I was more easily able to get the drop on enemies with the thermal thruster, so snagging a cheeky kill without my enemies noticing was pretty easy. To be honest, I feel like this build will work more efficiently if I had something like the backburner equipped, since the whole point of this build is to be a conniving pyromaniacal Frenchman, or just a loser for you people who religiously hate pyros for some reason. Either way, backburner or not, I've been getting good at this sort of playstyle to the point I'd even say I'm half decent with it. During my recording on Wednesday, during a sawmill match, I ended up finishing with 43 kills and 7 deaths. Oh my god! Which sadly got corrupted because Steam doesn't know how to optimize their stupid recording software. That's besides the point though. The point is, during this time, Pyro is actually getting fun to play and doesn't feel like a chore, which is what it felt like for the first few matches I played on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Unlike those matches where I felt like I was phoning it in, I actually felt an absurd amount of joy mowing people down before quickly thruster jumping away. And despite me saying I wanted to get good with the flare gun and air thrusts, I didn't want to switch at all. But Hannibal, you said you wanted to do something that wasn't just mindlessly W plus M1ing. Aren't you technically going back on this statement by not wanting to stray away from the flare phlogiston it. Haha, thruster pack, go brrrr. Never mind, don't get your panties in a bunch. I didn't just use the flog and thruster. I used the degreaser a bit along with the flare gun, which was, I'll admit, very satisfying to use. Way more satisfying than the times I'd use soldier. And yes, despite me having preferred playstyle, I've come to a sort of mini conclusion. I think it's best for me to use different loadouts depending on the map, and to some, that might sound brain dead obvious, but these are things I didn't consider at first, and pushes me toward being an overall better player by writing down my new tactics and speaking them into existence. One thing I never take a chance to consider, and I think other people also don't consider in games, is our own constructive criticism. You don't want to listen to the advice that goes on in your head because you think your very adaptive mind doesn't actually know better. It's only when someone else tells you you suck and gives you advice is when you actually try to take it into account. By cutting out the middleman, aka having friends, which you can tell I don't have because I own the phlogistonator, you can improve very quickly by just noting down a discovery you made, writing down problems you're facing during a match, or even just writing down tactics that you can always refer back to. Like, for example, I realized by writing down my concerning amount of suicide deaths, I quickly realized that the best course of action is to run away or quickly thruster pack retreat when I know I'm beaten. But hey, maybe you don't have this problem and I'm just being some weird pansy that needs to write down every single bit of information to get good at a game. Just remember to take into account that this is after 3 days of gameplay, after being away from TF2 for a few months and not using gyro controls in any other game. Just take that into consideration. Now we're on to Thursday, and I'll admit, barely anything interesting happened. I was mostly goofing off compared to yesterday, where I was being serious and silent the entire time. If I were to be completely honest with you, I really only played Lethal Company with some Discord peeps. I also figured out that I could record my voice in my videos, so you get glorious ramblings like this. Random thing I never got with like YouTubers is how do they record their how do they record their mic audio and game audio at the same time? Like I don't know how they do that. Like with without the audio I can't describe it. How do YouTubers have both the audio for the game and mic play at? Yeah, I forgot I got a shotgun. How do they have the audio play at the same time as the game playing without like the audio like merging with each other or something like that? I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, I currently have like to be honest, that's the most notable thing during this day. My ramblings. No major improvements or anything, just my usual gameplay. I want to take the day off for Friday and pick things up on Saturday. As I take my break, I might watch some pyro videos that give tips on air blasting or other pyro tech I might be missing out on. Alright, so today's Friday, and I didn't take my break. Well, sorta, but you'll figure that out. As soon as I finished watching some YouTube tutorials for air blasting, I suddenly fell down a rabbit hole on learning the ins and outs of this new pyro playstyle that I've only heard of until now. Something completely new to my knowledge. The elusive combo pyro technique. No longer would I have to restrict myself with thermal thruster and W plus M1. Instead, I could shake up my gameplay, be a jack of all trades, and play the game like it's freaking Doom Eternal. For the uninitiated, combo pyro, at least from my understanding, is a subclass of pyro that demands quick weapon swapping finesse. The most elite of combo pyros are able to do things like flaming someone, shooting them in the air with an air blast, and then comboing the crap out of their opponent like it's Street Fighter. You telling me I could have been doing this the entire time? It wasn't even a hard switch to make from my usual playstyle to this new playstyle, because like I said before, I'm playing the game like how I play Doom Eternal. Well, before I realized glory kills actually healed you and I just b-hop through the map looking for health packs like it's Doom 2. I even got some cheeky air blasting with my degreaser, which if I don't have footage of that, Grebs could just record my Steam profile, and she can show that I actually have the achievement for air blasting a rocket towards a soldier. Besides that though, I was barely able to get as much footage as I should have gotten during Friday, because of some business with the commentary side of my channel. If you're a part of the commentary side of my channel, you know what I had to deal with, and oh.
Jeff. Have you seen this?
Yeah. Oh, it was painful. But that's neither here nor there, and honestly, I don't want that Doom Moon to get more traction than what I'm already giving him. Anyway, enough about my commentary. Back to our favorite furry person, Pyro John Manser. I showed some clips of this fresh new playstyle that I was trying out, and Jaden, again, decided to hook me up with a panic attack for my loadout this time. Which, again, thank you Jaden, you are an amazing person, and I hope you get blessed with a Doom Eternal Super Shotgun for your birthday. Very cool. Now, back to the degreaser, and now panic attack, which just felt so good to use compared compared to the stock shotgun, even though there's a bit of a range problem with it. I wasn't able to get any super cool air juggle kills or anything like that, but I still felt as cool as the time I spin juggled the bajongles out of Gabriel with coins. You know what? I feel so cool right now that I'm gonna hold Grebs at panic attack point to make an edit of what she deems cool kills to the beat of the Bite Me chorus from Murder Drones. So you better do it. Alright, today's Saturday now and I'm surprisingly happy. Not only did some funny stuff happen on the commentary side of my channel, but even my gameplay was more outgoing in a good way. My aim was significantly more on point with the panic attack, and the air blast I managed to land made me make noises that I'm glad I didn't record. Let's just say they're the same noises that a Patriot makes when they hear the sound of an M1 Garand eject its clip. Here I was thinking it would be a flog pyro for all my life, and here I was pulling stuff like this off. I don't even know what this is because I'm not omnipotent and I don't know what Grebs is showing, but I'm able to pull stuff like this off. If you told me on Monday that what you're seeing right now is my gameplay, I wouldn't even believe you, to be completely honest. I've grown the battle sense to back off when needed to while sticking close to health packs, which is advice that I actually got from my second arch enemy that doesn't even know I exist. You probably know who he is though, if you've been on my channel for a while.
Batman porn.
One thing you also might have noticed is that I have the back scratcher more often, which is because it's primarily for independent pyros like me who don't need no medic. Yes, I stole that joke from Uncle Dane's Heavy video, sue me. Anyway, it basically gets me more HP from health pickups, while also making medics hate me, because I'm impossible to heal. This was good for matches where nobody picked medic, and if there was a medic, I just used the hot hand, for basically no reason, considering I think I only killed one person with it today. I'd say the match where my gameplay shined the most was during a defense round on Sulfur. Almost every single point was taken from us besides the main point, which we were able to defend with our lives. I managed to get at least 6 kills during this part of the match, all without dying. Sadly, that kill streak ended when a random soldier blew me into oblivion with the airstrike. Even if that was the case though, I kept on going and we eventually won. I wouldn't say I carried my team, heavens no. That would be the medic that was screaming at the other meatheads on my squad. But I will say, I definitely contributed greatly to them. At least, I think in my personal opinion. The last thing I'm having trouble with, to be completely honest, is trying to keep my opponent in the air after I air blast them, which I've only been able to do twice by complete accident. But that's an endeavor that me from the future will have to deal with, aka the Hannibal that will talk to you on Sunday. Before I eventually call Saturday off though, I've realized something. Have you realized that my changes of playstyle have matched Pyrotier's 10 stages of pyro video almost to a T? I started by W plus M1ing everywhere while hating trying to air blast, before getting the flog and being content with a flog pyro style where I never use anything else again, before gravitating towards an air blasting panic attack offense pyro. Is Pyrotier just omnipotent or something? There's no way he guessed my challenge progress that easily. Or Pyro's just predictable? I don't know what to actually say about that, to be honest. I feel like I'm a soldier running the direct hit, and this video is the rocket. And the plus 200 pyro I just fired at is Pyrotier. How am I this predictable? No matter. That's probably a good thing though, that I was able to breeze past most stages of the pyro in 5 days. Remember that. 5 days, and I've improved this much in the game. I just want to finally conclude this day by saying 1, thank you to my editor Grebs who helped put together this arsonist-filled journey, with her professional levels of editing and standing there and looking cute, while also cutting out all of the stutters and stuff. Thank you for that. And secondly, I would like to thank Jaden for giving me the weapons that would shape my experience for Pyro. You are a lifesaver, and my soul is now yours. Anyway, now that we got the snobby stuff out of the way, we should probably head to the last day of this challenge and see how 1 week of Pyro has changed me. So, see you on the final day of this challenge.
Yeah, that was very anticlimactic. Besides some minor training I did with some bots on TF Walkway, my gameplay was pretty much the same from Saturday's gameplay, and to be honest, that's fine. I didn't pull an Uncle Dane and played Pyro for an entire month. I only played for a week and managed to majorly improve in that amount of time. I may not be a master at Pyro or something, but look at the bright side. I can play Left 4 Dead with gyro controls without feeling like I want to claw my eyes out, just so my younger self doesn't have to see me playing Left 4 Dead without a joystick to move the camera. I'm not playing TF2 like I'm completely clueless on what everything is anymore. I just feel half decent, which is what I wanted. Most of my gameplay in FPS shooters is just that, half decent. I have a lot of bad games, I have a lot of good games, but that doesn't mean I suck. It just means I'm still a fledgling and I have room to improve. I'm definitely gonna play Pyro more when this video gets done. I might even make a part 2 or something if that's something you want, for some reason. Considering I definitely didn't experiment with every Pyro playstyle, like Pybro or those extinguisher addicts that you can tell from gameplay alone they can clap their thighs, this video was both stressful and fun to make. One, it was stressful because I had no idea how I was gonna script this, and also this video was supposed to come out in January, and two, it was fun because I got to just be an arsonist without getting sent to jail for a while. Well, thank you for watching this video to the end. You're a saint. And as always, your favorite trans panda will be back in her trans can for the presumable future until I decide to leave. So, bye. Again, this video was supposed to come out in January. This is so freaking annoying.